Welcome to PA Timber Goods 2 Outdoors in Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at some of the improvements that I've done to my Hawk crawler cart. Let's start with the wheels. The wheels are kind of questionable, the quality. They're actually bolted together both sides of the rim, so you can see the nut on the back and the bolt on the front with a little spacer there. And these are pneumatic tires. Each tire is rated at 220 pounds, 30 pound PSI. 3.25 by 3 inches nylon tube type. So I've had my crawler cart for a few years and I've actually never had a deer on it, but we have put it through the paces in the woods, pulled it over top of logs and pulled each other up the side of the mound and over some logs. So it definitely works very well, but I have made some improvements to it. First thing I did is I was afraid of flat tires. So I put some slime in there. You can see some coming out of the valve there. So if I had any pinholes in there, it would seal it up. Definitely don't want a flat tire when you have a nice buck riding on there and you're pulling it down over the mountain. So I have 2 tires that still have air. This one's a good one. Here's the second one. So I had a blowout when I was putting air in them. Apparently the valve slid down inside the rim. And the rim actually cut my valve stem. You can see that there. As soon as I put air in this tire, I could hear it leaking. These wheels are no more. In my effort to improve my Hawk crawler cart, I have 2 good and 2 bad. And this was a recommendation when I put this video out to replace the wheels, and I didn't. Tractor Supply, this wheel is $45 a piece. So there's about 160 plus to replace all 4 wheels. So I chose another route. I went to a tubeless tire, which I no longer have to worry about it going flat. It will ride a little rougher because they are solid wheels, and they are about 1 inch smaller than the wheels that came with the cart. Let's take a look at my new wheels here, and I will show you the modifications that I have made to my cart, and I will explain why I did that. Here's my pneumatic tire and here's my tubeless tire. These are kind of hard, and it adds about 10 more pounds to the cart. The cart's fairly hefty, but it has a 500 pound rating. So basically I have some spacers in here. The wheels came from Amazon. They were $37 a set. So I replaced all 4 wheels for under $100, including my spacers. I have a stainless steel spacer here. These are actually for a lawnmower. And then I have zinc plated washers to make sure that my lock nut on the axle here, where the bolts is all the way tightened down on the wheel and not with the thread stop on it. Okay, so if we look inside, here's the hub sticking out facing the axle. I also have another 5/8 washer there and a stainless steel spacer. So I have 2 5/8 washers and 2 spacers, one on each side, to get my proper clearance for my axle. So I have 4 of those. It rolls a little bit different because the tires are solid. So when you hit bumps, it's going to be a little bit rougher. I have a second modification to my Hawk crawler cart. I have a bar on the bottom here, so my cart will not go all the way to the ground like it's supposed to. My wheels will not spin completely around because of that bar. It can spin this way, but when it goes around, it'll hit that bar and stop. So I actually see no reason for that wheel to spin completely around. If I put a nice buck in here, it can only go down to the bar. And the reason I did that is so I can pull this behind my mountain bike, which if I have to make a recovery, which is further back in, I can actually tie this to the bar of my mountain bike and pull it out. So the biggest complaint with this cart is this handle folds in half. And a lot of guys have put hose clamps on here or U-bolts to keep this handle from folding in half. But because of my modification, most of the weight, when you pick that deer up or bear, whatever you have on here, or your hunting buddy because he hurt himself, most of the weight is not on the handle. So I still only have a butterfly bolt in there. I took the big plastic knobs off. So all the weight on my cart is sitting on this piece of extruded steel on the bottom, and the one on the top actually is holding this on the bottom. I have to tighten this up a little bit. I think this rattled loose last year when we were going up and down the mountain, but they're the modifications that I did, and I actually replaced some of the bolts on my cart. This one here, I actually went to Tractor Supply and bought some harder bolts with some vinyl lock nuts on there to put a much stronger bolt on there. The ones that came with it are fairly soft. I have 2 combination locks on my cart. 2 different combinations, obviously. So when I'm going deep and I don't want to come back down the mountain to get my cart, we'll lock this along the trail somewhere. A couple guys said they had their cart stolen and they had no locks on it. They left it there and somebody took their cart, so that kind of disappeared. I have the tools that came with it, and that is to tighten up some of my bolts. And if we look up here in this corner, I do have some extra bolts for the handle in case something happens or they fall out. So that's my Hawk Crawler cart. I'll put links down in the comment section for the replacement wheels for my Hawk Crawler cart and the spacers if you want to upgrade your cart. As always, give this video a like. It helps the algorithm. I believe that now. Let's call it a super like. And as always, hit that subscribe button. Help the new channel grow. And we will see you on the next video. PA Timber Goose, outdoors in Pennsylvania too. Thanks for watching.